to US Rugby Happy Hour Live. Interviews with the biggest names in American rugby.
The New England Free Jacks, Major League Rugby champions. One-on-one to score.
Here are your hosts, Phil Baker and that other guy.
Hello, welcome to US Rugby Happy Hour. In just a little bit, one of the breakout players of the 2025 Rugby World Cup, Erica Jarrell-Searcy, joins us. Lots to discuss, including that World Cup, both the team and her performance, Sale Sharks, and a few other things as well. So stay tuned for that. Really excited to talk to Erica today. But first, let's talk to this guy. Fitzy, how you doing?
Bill, I'm great. Haven't seen you in a while. I'm glad we're picking this up again. What's new?
A couple weeks. Actually, what should have been new is every time I see that open, and especially when we have someone that plays in the PWR, I think we need to update that because Detevo hasn't played. And it was the Alliance Premiership, I think, last time she played over there. But
well, I'm sure Blaine Scully appreciates hearing his name, but Blaine hasn't strapped up in a bit.
Keeping him alive. I just messaged him the other day, and he didn't mention it, so we're going to stick with it. So, Fitzy, just let's touch base a little bit about Major League Rugby before we get into our guest tonight. Some news finally came out last week about somewhat vague. Well, it was pretty straightforward about international players on each roster, but that was about it. And there was some uproar out there. What was your opinion on that?
Well, I mean, I guess one for them to just put a statement out. The timing of it a little interesting. A Friday afternoon news dump, but glad maybe some reassurances that a 2026 MLR season will be taking place. They did address somewhat some of the rumors of the change of the domestic status and how it's going to be a little more focused on American qualified and pathway players. Which, I mean, if you look around the world, it aligns with the other top professional leagues. In other countries, I get it if you're a Canadian rugby fan or support Canadian rugby, not that we don't, they could gripe about it. But it didn't explicitly say that Canadians will be considered foreign. So I guess we still have to kind of figure all that out and all that. But yeah.
Yeah. And also, even if they are, I looked at the rosters and the teams. I don't think they're going to be any issues with the Canadian players. There a good dozen of them are starters on MLR teams. I don't see teams saying, "Oh no, go away." No, those are the ones I think they're going to stay, especially like New England Free Jacks. They got a number of players who really involved, and a big reason why they've won 3 in a row. So I don't think it's going to be a big deal for them. I mean, it's a wait and see. The free agency market just opened up yesterday. So I'm actually surprised I haven't seen any notifications yet about signings. I'm sure some of those will be rolling in soon. And, of course, there was a faint rumor at one point about a possible Canadian franchise, which I think would be great for them as well. Great for Canadian men's rugby, and also good for USA Rugby as well. Better we get, the better we are playing together. Same thing with the Canadian women and the USA women. Tough matches. It just makes them better rugby players and better teams,
Absolutely.
So we'll see what happens. I'm waiting I can't talk right now because I'm so excited about the signings coming up.
Have you gotten your season tickets yet for the Free Jacks, Bill?
Bought them. They went on sale like the week after the season went over or something like that. It was just crazy. I'm just waiting for a refund because there's less games probably.
Probably, yeah.
All right, Fitzy, let's do it. Before we do it, though, quick thing. Listeners, viewers of the YouTube channel, please like, follow, and subscribe to the show and the podcast replays. When that said, podcast replays come out the day after these shows air on YouTube. And please like, follow, and subscribe. Share those with your friends. It just makes it all that more worth it that we get to share these interviews with you. So please do so. And with that said, let's bring on our guest via a tune introduction.
Tonight's guest, a Harvard grad with a degree in molecular and cellular biology. She's wicked smart, from the Ivy League bitch to the world stage, kicking ass no matter where she plays. Sailing into the shark season, her PWR stock has risen for a reason. Let's welcome to the show, Eagle number 319, Erica Jarrell-Searcy.
There's Erica. Hello, Erica. How are you?
Hello, I am great now. Where did you guys get that on?
We have an extremely large budget for our introduction jingles, and we have a symphony. Actually, I told them to put away their horns right before we went on air with you because they were making noise, tuning for our next guest. But
Wow, amazing.
yeah, all their initials are A and I. So,
Yeah.
yeah, Erica, how are you?
Yeah, doing well. Just got home from training, so a little bit sweaty, but happy to be here.
Perfect. We want guests like you, like actually, like pretty much still wearing rugby. You know what I'm saying?
the everyday look, I guess.
So it's been quite a year for you, a big year. We'll get into the Rugby World Cup in a minute, but congratulations on your marriage to Kay.
Thank you. Best part of my year.
I bet. I was curious. She was a sales teammate with you at one point, right?
Yeah, she pretty much got me over to the club, so that worked out in my favor as well. But yeah, we played together.
That's awesome. And Fitzy, I don't know if you wondered this, but when someone does a last name with a hyphen, was it a coin flip?
We went back and forth. We actually polled all of our friends and family, and pretty much the majority said Jarrell-Searcy, and it was kind of what we had randomly said. We bought a house as well. It's been a crazy year.
Oh, nice.
But we just had randomly made a file on my computer that before we were married, we were just like Jarrell and Searcy stuff. So we were like, I guess it's sort of natural. So we stuck with it. Yeah.
And one thing I noticed, of course, Harvard, you grew up in Massachusetts?
Mm-hmm.
Where?
Outside of Boston. I grew up in Lincoln. It's like a suburb.
Lincoln.
Yeah.
Lincoln. What do I know? I'm north of Boston. I'm in Manchester by the Sea.
It's like west.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like way out north, like Northampton, that far west, or?
No, not crazy. It's like 10 miles west of Boston, I would say.
Oh,
like Sudbury. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta figure that out. Yeah, Fitzy, don't worry about it. We're going to talk for a minute about Massachusetts.
Always with the Boston. Always with the Boston.
All right, let's talk Harvard for a second. I'm not even going to try to say what your major was because molecular is a hard word for me to say. Are you trying to tell us that you're the smartest one on the team, on the USA squad?
I'm not even the only Harvard person, so I would say
That's true. Yeah.
No, there's a bunch of geniuses out there just taking head knocks, seeing what we can do after the career. But yeah, no, it's actually a pretty smart squad. Can't take the cake on that one. But
all right.
So Erica, I got to ask you, because typically, incoming freshmen, you want to start off with a light load. It's college. You want to have fun.
Yeah.
How did you have time to start playing rugby, again, a sport you hadn't really played before, while also taking on the massive schoolwork because it's a double major, right? Molecular and cellular biology.
Yeah, so molecular and cellular is one thing, but I did also study psychology. I got a minor, or we called it a secondary, because Harvard needs to have fancy words for everything. But yeah, at the time, you don't actually declare till your second year. But to get to the heart of your question, being a freshman and all of this sort of newness around college and Harvard, I guess it was just pure obsession. Like, I didn't ever really feel like I was flat out. I was flat out. I was not sleeping enough. I do not endorse the lifestyle that I lived. But that was not as much to do with rugby as you may imagine. But yeah, I think it was just like I wanted to go outside and play pass with my friends and practice and go do extra skills all the time, because as soon as I learned what rugby was, I was obsessed with it. So it didn't really feel like a hobby as much as just what I wanted to do in all of my free time, whether or not I had that much. So it kind of worked itself out.
Yeah, it's crazy how I started playing college too, and it's crazy how quickly like rugby puts the hook in you when you first start playing. So I mean, I've got to ask you. So you started playing as a freshman, and then you got invited to a junior national team winter camp shortly after you started playing. Like, how quickly did it become apparent to you that you were like, oh, I'm pretty freaking good at this?
Yeah, so the whole national team thing was crazy. Basically, I started as a freshman. I was like pretty quickly scouted as a second row. Didn't play much my first season. I think our recruited second row broke their collarbone, so I luckily got like a game or two, but I was behind like Jenny Cronish, Haley Langan, some names who have gone on to other amazing rugby things that you may have heard of. But like, I didn't really play much that first year. And then I went and I played summer sevens with Beantown.
Yeah.
And it was like a social sevens league where I played prop as a sevens prop. Okay. Bear with me. So then I come back, the best summer ever. I was like scoring hat tricks, like just running people over, like no skill involved, but just kind of, and that worked out for me. So then I came back in the fall and we had like no props. And I sauntered up to the sports coach and I was like, Justin, it's okay. I've been propping all summer. Like
sevens.
I didn't know. I did not know. So I was like, I'm a prop. And then I played prop for Harvard for like most of the rest of my career. So that was actually why I think I got scouted initially, because I kept making like NYRA teams at prop because I was kind of not playing like a prop. So like you're kind of like stat padding at that point. You're like, you get to wear prop, but like I'm also dumping the line out. I'm like, what? So really fair. But I kept getting like team of the season or whatever for prop. And then I think that and Mel Denham having connections to USA, they kind of sent me this email. And that was actually the first time I'd ever heard of the national team. Because again, I was totally oblivious to rugby whatsoever. So I was just playing it for fun. And then I got this email from like USA, Eagles Rugby, like whatever it was. And I was like, when is it? We have a national team? Like, what? And then I got the crazy, like, nervous butterflies and was like, well, I want to do that. But luckily I was already invited, so I never really had to, like, try. Yeah.
Prop? Your coach never said, yeah, you're clearly not a prop. I mean, you played well, obviously, but you're a lock or a loose forward. Why are you?
Yeah, I mean, he was like, look, you won't be here forever, but since you're willing, we need it.
Yeah.
So,
And that's what a coach wants, is everyone to say, oh, play whatever you want to play.
yeah.
All right, Erica, let's jump into the Rugby World Cup. Clearly, you were one of the women's Eagles breakout stars of the tournament, alongside Frida. Frida had a great, spectacular tournament. I mean, you scored a try each match. I mean, you could have done better. You could have had two, but that's okay. We'll go with one each match. And one that stood out to me was the exciting try, of course, against England, because what a great match that was. And watching that highlight, you were screaming. Like you were 15 meters out. You were like, yeah! And then you looked over your shoulder, and I think you said, oh, crap. There's a defender right over my shoulder. Take us through your thoughts on that match, not necessarily that try, but that match, the moments of, like I said, I think a lot of people agreed that was one of the matches of the tournament, if not the match of the tournament. Unfortunately, we were on the short end of it. But what was going through your head after the final whistle, considering how amazing that match was, opening match in front of all those fans, and then, of course, the disappointment of losing that match as well?
Yeah, I don't think the game really settled in for me until like 2:00 in the morning. I remember I could not sleep that night because it was a night match, and you just get up so high for something like that with the fanfare and going around after the game ends to just meet all of these people who like know your name and flew from wherever in America or even came in from England. They should be England fans, but they're like, hey, I kind of like what you're doing, and it's just like this totally cool opportunity to meet all of these amazing fans. And so yeah, it was like 2 a.m. when I finally was like, I just played in the World Cup. What? But yeah, I think I journal a lot to game prep, which I would be nowhere without that. And my big focus for the day, because obviously there's so much going into it. Like you've been prepping for 4 years and there's the biggest crowd ever. And I remember one of the anxieties that like wouldn't stop nagging my head is I was like, what if on a kickoff, they kick it straight at me? And I drop it in front of 4,000 people. Like of all of the skills, of all the things that could go wrong, like the night before, I was just like, oh my God, what if I drop a ball in front of 40,000 people? So I journaled all about that. And I basically settled on this idea of like, it's just my job, and not in a no fun way. Like it's still the best job ever. It's still the World Cup. But I just kept journaling. I was like, this is my job. And then I would like kind of crazy journal like over and over, be like, this is my job. Like, this is my job. It's the best job. And so I kind of took that into the World Cup, and that was what my opener was. It's just like, best job ever. And also sort of, I'm ready, I guess, was the undertone to that of like, I'm just going to work. Like when I go to work, it is, running, passing, tackling. And I know that sphere, that's my life. And so I was not afraid at all. And I just kind of got to be in that moment and feel like all the fans were cheering for me and with me and us. So yeah, it really wasn't that intimidating. It was just like, this is the sickest job ever.
Well, it's funny. It's like, coaches and players would kind of give that speech. It's just another game. You're like, this is not another fucking game. Sorry. This is not just another game. Have you looked out there? Which I'm sure Sione did not say it's just another game, but
no, it's much more. It all comes down to this. You're like, okay.
Oh.
Well, Erica, so I got to ask you then. So the journaling before matches, I think that's really cool. Is that a way for you to kind of like organize your thoughts and calm and get ready, or is that just
Yeah, I use it for so much. I actually learned the style of journaling that I do at Harvard. We had a mindfulness guy, Lorenzo Beltran, come in. He's done a bunch of work with tennis and NASCAR or Formula One. I can't remember which one, maybe both. So he's like really, really good because those are individual sports where, especially with the race car driving, like the tiniest error is life or death. It's not just the millions that they may or may not make. It's like, so he has this system that for those reasons is really, really well thought out and effective. So I'm so grateful to, the Harvard investment in women's sport to have been exposed to him, because what the heck, he's probably one of the best. And so, yeah, I journal in some ways to keep track. If you've ever like counted, and I think it would be a fun trend, like to count how many coaching points are made to a player in a day, whether it's about a specific drill that we're running and like, here's how the drill works, or a specific thing of like catching this way, or, oh, just remember to, drive through on these rucks and make this decision here, and then hit them all for this amount of time and then peel out, and all of like, is probably 150 to 200 coaching points per day. And then you're in camp for 6 weeks and you're just like, hang on, like, I want to get all of these things downloaded. So I journal for that reason, to like not have crazy coaching points floating around in my brain and like distracting me from just doing a good job at basic things. And then I journal for the sort of emotional, like, there's pressure, there's sacrifice, miss home, had a bad day, somebody at campus drove me crazy, all of those different things that you kind of couldn't possibly call somebody on the phone and vent long enough to get it all out. I just put it in the book. And then as I journal through that, I find trends that probably need a little bit of what Lorenzo would call your coaching voice. So there's like your beat. I'm totally like giving out his IP, but like things you find and your anxieties that just come to you in the moment, and then you can sort of coach yourself through those. So as I journal, I find the trends of like, oh, I keep, like I said, honing in on this ball drop. Like, okay, so when I'm just like sitting on the couch, I get an intrusive thought of like, I'm going to drop a ball on Saturday. So then I have to like prepare to tell myself something to cancel that, or like he called it an antidote. So I just have like problems and antidotes, and also a list of everything I should remember to do if I want to play my best game. Those three things.
So let's, if you can hone that, because I'd love to hear if you can share kind of what you maybe wrote down in the journal before and after the Australia match, because knowing what everyone knew going into that match, right? The stakes involved in that match, the history of the results going back and forth. Sione, used to being part of the Wallaroos program. What did you journal before and after? And was it like, just take us through that, because this is a fascinating look that I've never really heard from any high level player about just like their thoughts pre and post match. Yeah, this is really fascinating.
Oh, that's cool. I should have like brought my whole journal for this. Yeah, the Australia match, I think what everyone sort of naturally approaches it is like, this is the match that decides the World Cup. It's going to be close. Like fear. What if? So for me, I think I focus a lot more on like, it sounds really cliche, but it's so effective, like gratitude. Not just for the opportunity to play and be here, like that's always part of it, but gratitude for the competition and the challenge and the closeness. Like I think Sione said that week that playing Australia would be like looking in a mirror, partially because he's Australian, and so we had similar and like similar strengths, similar opportunities, and so it really was this kind of like perfect showdown, as you can see from the tie. We're really very well matched, and I think we all knew going into that it was there to win, it was there to lose. I don't think anybody predicted a tie, but it was there to tie. So yeah, my journal was much more around like, that's kind of the dream though. Like when you're a kid thinking about being an athlete, how many times are you there being like, the game is tied? Like I was a baseball player growing up, like bottom of the ninth, like you're up to bat, and it's like grand slam, like you're a hometown hero. Like those are the moments that sport is built on, and so to get to go into a game that's like the World Cup decider that ended up being a tie, and even in the game you're like in it by margins, like those are the best games. Those are the best games to watch, best games to play. Like I hate playing and watching a game that's kind of over by half. Can't stand it. So boring. So yeah, to go into that, I was just like, I cannot wait. I like this is the game more so than sold out opener against England. Like that was cool in its own way, but this is the game that I want to play, and I just focused on that desire more so than any fear, and then kind of took me through it.
And it was a bit of a roller coaster, though. They lost to England, the draw to Australia, and then the big defeat of Samoa. So all equally fun, I'm assuming, but and ups and downs. But you were quoted also, Erica, as, I love going 2 feet into things and soaking it all up. How is that possible? I mean, is journaling part of that? How is that possible in an event like the World Cup? I mean, I don't know. I think I'd be there going, oh, what's going on here? How do I soak this in?
I mean, I guess part of the what's going on here is the soaking it in. I think it's I think partially having space for like the tunnel vision that you get in any moment, whether it's like, I just want to call my mom right now and I'm going to do that. Like, I don't even care that I'm woke up. Like I'm, be in that moment, but also be in the moment where, you're meeting an 8-year-old girl who is at her first rugby match. And like, there's no way to digest that all at once. But I guess that's kind of fine. Like let it be big and let it take weeks or months or years to just kind of be like, that was a crazy cool part of my life, and it might manifest in ways that I don't even know yet. I may sort of look back on a moment and be like, wow, that memory from 20 minutes after we won against Samoa, but like probably weren't going to go further, and I was standing there with like X, Y, or Z teammate, like that moment's going to carry forward, and I don't even know yet when it's going to come back up for me and Paige or me and Maya, but like that was stamped into our lives, kind of, not to get too deep. But yeah, I think you don't have to digest it all at once. I guess how I approach that presentness is just like, if there's a salience to any particular moment, allow that and sort of accept it and enjoy it, and just sort of be where your feet are.
Frida mentioned also one of her favorite moments of the World Cup was the circle post Samoa match, especially a lot of the South Pacific players, including her heritage. I'm going to say that's something that she's going to soak up, remember forever, that kind of moment. Were you involved in that circle at all?
Yeah, I was sort of on the outside. I think I was still crying. So it was like a fascinating double, like, this is so beautiful and exciting, and I'm like so happy to be a part of this moment for them and for us. So I'm like happy crying. The other thing about like post match that isn't just about the outcome is like, I'm so tired. Like I'm just standing there, whatever the summer has been, whatever tour has been, like I knew at that point it was probably all over. And so then it all hits you at once. So I was just with Paige, like kind of not really supporting my own body weight. And it was almost like a surreal experience, like watching all of that joy and energy, like maybe I didn't have it in me to kind of like dance around with them. I was like, it's been 7 weeks. But yeah, to then at least, I guess, let that sort of wash over you is probably once in a lifetime. And yeah, it was so cool to just watch them express their culture, and Sione got in on it, and we were kind of cheering him on. So yeah, that was a highlight for sure.
Mm. So Erica, as much as things change or they stay the same, there's a brand new Rugby World Cup cycle that now starts. Granted, it's 4 years away in Australia, and as part of that, before actually any games take place, new head coach search, obviously with Sione stepping away, and maybe just a question here about do the players have some kind of counsel or voice or say in the process of hey, we need a new head coach here? Do we have a say in this? Is there some type of counsel?
Yeah, there is. We've had many meetings. I think I spent probably 3 or 4 hours in 1 week meeting with a consultant that's coming in to sort of oversee this transition period, and meetings between players and then players and leadership and staff. And the conversation has really been like thorough and very inclusive of player perspectives. There's also a feedback form, which the feedback forms, I think, that kind of comes out every tour. Like that's for good reason, just sort of a generic part of the process. But these specifically around the future of the program and head coach conversations have been very, very involved. And so, yeah, I guess that's a bright spot for how USA are looking to get influence from players.
And I guess as part of this next big question here, and feel free to take this in any direction you want to go, but in your mind, what does the program need to do to maybe get back into the top 5 again? In your mind, what do you think?
I think it's gonna happen. Like the momentum is already shifting in terms of, I can't speak highly enough of walk-ons and crossover athletes, and just the exposure of the sport in America was, I think, the title challenge of the last cycle. Like as someone who went from complete ignorance to total dedication, I think I can advocate pretty strongly for just tell more young girls about it and you'll find more talented young girls. But then the flip side of that is also developing the talent to the highest level. I think I was very fortunate to walk on at Harvard, of all places, that for no discernible reason has really taken a liking to women's rugby and has put significant backing behind it. And Mel Denham is a great coach, and we've had great facilities. Like Harvard and Dartmouth, aside from Lindenwood Life, are like some of the best rugby programs that you can play at the age that I decided I wanted to play, weirdly enough. So I think, expanding that type of infrastructure and resources to not just the college game, but also age grade. I think it feels really obvious to say, but it's just more girls need to play rugby. I think we've done that. I think, Alona Dancing with the Stars, like the impulse to play is there. So now the infrastructure to play well needs to be supported. And if that happens, which I do believe will happen, I think the next World Cup it's just a piece of the puzzle for us. Like America's really good at sports. And if we get really good at rugby as we are with other sports, then it's just going to happen. I believe that.
Did you write that in your journal? That's been journaled.
Oh yeah, I'm manifesting that so hard.
I'm waiting for the release of the journal, like your own podcast where you just go through your journal from the early days. Talk.
I'll sleep to it. Today, I was at breakfast and I had oats and it made me gag.
There have been worse podcasts out there. They got 1 million listens. So, so let's talk Sale Sharks, Erica. Your third season, is that the one coming up?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me ask you the tough question first. I mean, it's been a rough couple of seasons, right? One win last year, PWR win. I obviously don't need to tell you again how tough it was, but what keeps you and your teammates motivated through seasons like that, and then coming into a season like this? What's motivating you now as to why you think you're going to have a pretty good season?
Yeah, well, let me tell you, Bill, nothing feels as good as winning one time.
Okay.
I cannot sell you on it enough. If you want like an endogenous high, beat a top 4 team for your only win of the season. Doesn't get better than that. It kills everything. And the possibility that any game might be the game just keep us trucking along.
Okay, I like that.
No, the sale, I think it's kind of like a played out trope, but we really do have that sort of family feeling. I've told people all through last year when they would kind of be like, "Oh, sale, like sorry." I would always be like, "No, I actually love sale." Like,
Yeah.
I love Manchester. It helps that I moved here for love as much as I did for performance, but the girls here are so great. The club really respects us, and we are not like second rate to any other program, men's academy, whatever. We have carved out our own performance space, and it's a really good culture. It's really supportive. The outcomes haven't been there, and a lot goes into that. But this year we've got some, really dedicated coaches, really good, exciting signings. And so, yeah, the belief is there, and the bedrock culture, they don't have to install. So now it's just about installing rugby, which I say just as if that's easy, but relative to installing something like culture and like a true, honest connection, the rugby actually is the easy part, I think. So that's where the belief is coming from. We just have to like practice rugby for a few more weeks, and then we'll be like better at rugby. We don't have to sort of like get a bunch of hotheads to work together. We've got that part. So,
well, your season kicks off next week, 25th, I believe, against Leicester. A few of your USA Eagle teammates are on that team. Do you get extra joy maybe in running over one of your Eagles teammates in those matches? I mean, maybe like a little extra hello to Kristen Bitter or Emerson Allen, who may debut in that match. Like, welcome to the league.
There are moments. When you kind of wait for like a tick. Like, I know when KB's going to look to do some specific thing, and I just want to rain on her parade. But it's better. It's to make her better, because then when we next play together, she'll have hidden that tick from everyone, including me. Yeah, no, it's like when you play against your siblings. Like, I want to win at everything. Like, I want to steal all of Emerson's lineouts. Sorry. It's not just Emerson; it's her whole team. It's the spirit of the game. But I'll be nice to her.
Well, okay. So let's see. On your team, 6 Eagles, I believe it is. Of course, Nick, Olivia. It's good to have Georgie back and healthy. Katie, Katana. I think you're tied with like Lofbedo for the most USA Eagles on the squad right now. So, I mean, are there any? You mentioned Katie a second ago. Are there any? You're like, oh, I can't wait to face so and so on the Eagles, because you don't really go head to head to anybody, right, from your position. But are there any? Just like, I love playing against so and so because honestly, she gives it to me, and I'm sore after that match.
I mean, for the second part of your description, in terms of who's gonna just like sit me down, it's probably May. And so when I say look forward to playing her, I'll journal about that. There was a moment when I thought she might come to Sale, and I was really, really excited about the possibility of not having to tackle her oppositionally, but it didn't work out. So, yeah, when we play Leicester, I'll do my exercises. So,
wait, Fitz, I know you're going to jump in here a second. There has been a loose rumor about a possible another Eagle coming to Sale.
I don't think there's anything in that.
I didn't expect you to really. I didn't. Okay, yeah, okay. Okay, good enough.
Well, moving on from that question.
Yes.
Moving on from that question. You had to ask it.
I would have done so well for your podcast, wouldn't it? Wish I had something more interesting to say.
I think your journal is really what's doing it so far. So let's keep going.
She could write it in a journal and then snail mail it to us, and by the time we get it, any news will already have come out, and then it would be Anyway. So
no news.
Erica, so I currently 22 Eagles in the PWR. Any other you feel USA teammates that you think would do great in PWR? I mean, obviously you want all of them to do well, except for maybe when you're playing them. But I mean, are there a couple others, maybe up and comers you can talk about?
Yeah, I mean, we already mentioned KB. I think when she settles into potentially, I don't know what they'll do with her, but a starting role at either 10 or 12. Like, if you guys had half an eye on Denver Onyx, when she plays with confidence and experience, then you really see, like, especially her kicking talent is, if you're not on her team, it's annoying because she's just 50-22s every time she gets the ball. So that'll be really exciting to see her kind of grow into that space. I think I'm excited for Emerson as well to get into this league. I think it did so much for me and the physical side of my game, just coming and getting humbled every week. Not to say that that'll be her experience. I think she has more talent than I ever did at her age, so that's really exciting. But yeah, she'll do great. Trying to think of not just Tigers players that I can like spruce up this space. They're the newest addition to the league itself. I think Talia is going to have an amazing season. She went away between our 24 and 25 USA season and just got this whole brand new skill set of like soft hands and running lines. We threw her in at second row one week when Hallie was injured in the World Cup, and like she can kind of just do it all now. And yeah, it's really cool to see what she's added to her repertoire in addition to that ferocity and physicality that she just naturally had her whole career. So yeah, there's a couple really exciting developments on the horizon. I would say keep your eyes on everyone, really.
Yeah. We mentioned that we had spoke to Frida, I think the week after the Rugby World Cup, and she's obviously still in college. And she shared she might be trying to play league for Tonga, and we were like, "What? Like you can do that? When you're Frida, I guess you can." But we shared with her the quote that you had about her being a mutant, and obviously that's a compliment. It was not like a bad thing, but she didn't know that you had said that about her. I hope she's not. I just hope she's not mad at you, because like it wasn't a bad thing. But she was like, "Oh, I didn't know that she said that. That's cool." But
well, she should know. I say to her all the time, I'm like, "You're ridiculous. I can't believe you exist." She's so gifted. It's like whatever. She's great. She's amazing. This gets to her.
So, Eric, a couple more questions for you, and we'll let you go. Getting matches broadcasted over here in the United States is really new as far as PWR goes. More and more matches now, YouTube games, rugby, the Rugby Network, etc. Do you have a fan base here who's tuning into your matches whenever they're available on YouTube? And do they contact you after and say, "Wow, that game sucked," or whatever?
I mean, obviously my family.
Yeah.
I think my mom is probably my biggest, loudest supporter. She gets like random people at her work to watch my games, and then they'll send me emails from like these like fancy lawyer emails. Would be like, "I watched your game this weekend, and you were amazing." I'm like, "Hello." Like, do you know my mom? Like, how did you get my email? And I actually love that part of it. But family aside, I do have like from USA games, some people who know me through that. I also have some people who knew me through my TikTok days, who are mostly American. My demographics, I didn't have like the most international reach at the time. So yeah, there's a handful of people who kind of have half an eye on what I'm doing over here, which is a really cool part of it. I think my most exciting time is when people actually fly over, and after a year, I'm kind of, bopping around the crowd, making friends and stuff, and then I hear an American accent, and I'm like, "Where'd you come from?" So I love when they actually like stumble upon it, whatever, they're studying abroad, whatever, they're in the area. But yeah, there's a handful of people who are American fans watching the Prem, which is a cool demographic to sort of be catering to.
Yeah.
All right, Erica. I think I saw a video that you posted on your social a few weeks ago or so of your mom like flexing her muscles. So first, Sparks, in my opinion, is one of Coldplay's best songs. Okay, that's my opinion. I think it's one of their best. 2, is your mom a bodybuilder? And 3, dare I ask, who can lift more?
I have been trying to get her to do bodybuilding competitions for as long as she has looked the way she looks. She has the genetics on that woman. Thank you, Brenda. No, she doesn't compete. She doesn't have like lofty performance goals. She just works out like in a very regimented way because that's what keeps her sane and happy. Like waking up at 4 a.m. and working out like an actual crazy person for 2 hours and then going to work. It just, it makes her tick. And I love that about her. She inspires me every day because I want to have the bigger biceps and I don't. So to answer your second question, it depends because Olympic rugby specific lifting, she doesn't really do. So I get a free pass because she doesn't do like barbell squats. But in every other sense of who is stronger, like if we were to do her workout, I would be suffering. I'd be suffering. So to answer your question, probably my mom.
All right. As part of our research on Wikipedia, of course, and
Yes,
we
the best.
we found out, maybe this was USA Rugby's website, we found out that you'd won a gold medal in eventing at the Junior Olympics in 2016. So I had to look up eventing. I think I was familiar with it. First, congrats. That is cool. Second, for those who aren't quite familiar with the equestrian sport of eventing, can you tell us what the heck that is?
It's horseback riding, obviously. There's 3 phases. So dressage, some people know that from the Olympics. Show jumping, some people know that from show jumping.
Mm-hmm.
And cross country, which is running as fast as you can at the biggest objects you can and not dying.
Wow.
Yeah. That's what I did my whole life, really, until rugby. I quit horseback riding to focus on rugby. After a year of doing both, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do rugby. Sorry, Mom.
I don't think I've ever heard that path before. That's a heck of a crossover athlete. That's
Yeah. I've met a few horse girls on my path, but not everyone's out about it, and I don't blame them. It's a hard thing to explain.
Erica, last question for me. So, gold medal in eventing, Junior Olympics. You've played in Rugby World Cup. Your mom works out hardcore. So certainly I get a sense of pretty competitive family here. How intense does it get during family game night?
We actually like don't play games.
Get hurt.
Yeah. But growing up, my brother and I had this game that pertains to my rugby career called Fight and Not Cry.
Nope.
I'll explain the rules. Basically, we would fight and not cry.
Hold on. Let me write that down.
They would always intervene if one of us started crying because we fought so much that like you just kind of let it go until it reaches like we need to intervene for safety. So we learned that and we were like, okay, well, they always stop us when we cry, so don't cry, and then we can just have it out. And that was I guess my physical prep besides horseback riding that translated the best into rugby was that. It got way less fun when he hit puberty and became like 6'4". But up until that point, I won most of the time. Probably.
So kids, fight with your brother or sister until one of you cries, and you'll become a world level rugby player.
Yeah.
All right, Erica, let me leave you with this. So, Fitz just listed off some great achievements you've did when you were younger and on. You 19 caps. You're 26 years old. You played in the World Cup, scored tries, playing professionally in Europe. You're in a wonderful marriage. All these, I'm sure, were goals of yours at one point. What's next? What goals do you have down the road? Is it maybe representing the Barbarians, say maybe like Kay did?
I am just loving what I'm doing, honestly. I think like the most fun part of how my life has gotten to this point is I've just kind of like tumbleweeded along the next fork in the road, I guess. Like even going to Harvard, I was like this close to going to St. Andrews, where I might not have found rugby. I might have found rugby, it's college, whatever. And I've just kind of like followed my heart, I guess, which I don't know if that's lame to say, but looking ahead, I think, I'm super focused on sail right now, but I'm also really excited to get back to what USA are doing. I think I've found a leadership under like Mel's guidance that has really been rewarding for me, and I hope to keep developing that skill set, especially now that I'm like a seasoned veteran player, which is so weird to say because I only got capped like 2 years ago. It's been like go, go, go. But yeah, no, I think I'm just excited for the future of the women's game and what Australia could mean to the world, given what New Zealand and England meant to the world. So I hope that I can't even imagine what it's going to be like. Like there's so many goals that you said that I don't even remember setting it as a goal. I don't even remember if I could have dreamt that high, like 40,000 people, 80,000 people married. Like I don't ever remember actually striving for these lofty things because they were greater than I could have imagined. So hopefully going forward, there's things that I can't even imagine that will happen for the women's game. Like maybe, something financial or something like, yeah. In a lot of ways, I hope everything changes in terms of like progress, but in a lot of ways, I hope nothing really changes. Like I just want to keep playing and working on my house and loving my life. Nice.
Well, Erica, I apologize for keeping you so much longer than I think I said we would have, but it's been a joy. So much fun talking to you, and we can't help but cheer from you. And I'm looking forward to the first draft of your writings in my mail. Thank you.
Personal essays, yeah. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Hey, good luck this season with sail, and we'll chat again soon.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
All right. Nice to meet you too. Cheers. She was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and she gave us a different vibe. I mean, I don't know, is a different vibe the right term there than some of the players we get? Not in a bad way for them. I mean, she just had this, I write everything, like we learned things. I mean, we learned things to the players too, but just her whole process was, it makes me want to go start journaling for my regular stuff during the day.
Laughed a little bit, cried a little bit. It was inspiring. Yeah, it was great.
I was bawling the entire time. I cried the entire time.
I mean, the fight don't cry story is pretty
I know, that's awesome. I'm like, write this down. What are the rules again? That's awesome. All right, Fitzy, let's wrap it up. I don't want to ruin what just happened the last 40 minutes with us just not talking about anything good. Good work, my friend. For those of you still tuning in, thank you so much, and check out our next episode as soon as you can, or previous episodes. Cheers.